What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Ford Area. You got me, Solomon, here, and we are at Poppy's Garage. We got the 79 B100 behind us. And Manny, what's the game plan today?
So today we're going to tackle lifting this full body off this frame. This shouldn't take much long, seeing as we're not going to keep anything that's in here. We'll get rid of the rad support, and then we're going to try to tackle shrinking the frame at the same time.
Speaking of the frame, let's show them some stuff.
So this is going to be getting a brand new Illuma Duty frame. Similar build to like this OBS that we're doing here as well.
Heck yeah. So we got a 2020 Ford F250 crew cab 4x4
short bed frame.
Yep, 6.7 with the 10-speed. This thing is going to be super cool. So what exactly are we going to be doing with this?
So once we finish lifting that cab over there, we're going to come here and we're going to go to these joints. These are going to be the factory frame rail joints. There's going to be 2 of them. This is what Ford decides to keep the length. Adrian and Baguero had already started somewhat removing the fuel tank and the depth tank, seeing as the frame is going to be so small that a midship tank was not going to work. Once we shrink this, we're just going to make sure that we shrink it to the wheelbase that's appropriate to that truck. So I guess we'll make some decisions now whether we want to grow the wheelbase about 1 inch or 2, if it's going to be more off-road looking, or, you know, depending on the application that we're going to use it for.
Should we give him a little bit more of the secret sauce of what we're going to be doing to it?
Yeah, there's nothing really secretive about it.
No, I'm saying the plans, like
we're
lifting it, it's going to be on 40s. So the game plan for this truck is we're going to lift it. We want it on 40s. Probably going to do like a 20x10 or 20x12 Detroit. Same like what we have on Gold Dust, but on 40s instead of 37s. And it's going to be pretty awesome. I think this is going to really be one of the coolest swaps out there. And we're going to show you every step of the way right here on our channel. So once we start to get to work, I will pick you back up and show you. We got the chassis separated and it's looking really cool. So right now we're gonna roll this out, gonna roll this under, take a bunch of measurements and start cutting and putting it together. All right guys, so we just got the tranny pulled, or not tranny, we just got the chassis pulled outside and we got the other one right over here. Manny's about to pull it back inside, and it's pretty cool to see how different technology is. I mean, look at this tiny little motor over here. It's adorable. And then you come over and you see how big this one is and you're like, wow. So that's where we're at right now. We're about to pull that one in and then start taking measurements and figure the rest of it out. All right, so we're back inside. We got the new chassis on here, and Manny, what are we doing right now to it?
So you're gonna see that Adrian is removing all of the harnesses. Bagueto's underneath, taking out the gas tank. We're gonna try to strip down the frame. Mainly the area that we wanna strip is gonna be that middle portion between those 2 seams that we were talking about earlier. That's gonna be where we're gonna be shrinking to get the correct wheelbase that we need for that B100.
Hell yeah. These guys are getting quick work. I mean, we've only been here for a couple hours. We already got the old frame out from underneath. It's looking good. So they're gonna keep cracking at it. I'm gonna keep getting a couple shots, and we'll see you in the next clip. All right, guys, so we're over here taking a bunch of measurements. Manny and I are figuring it all out. So pretty much, you want to tell them what we're doing?
So on this B100, the company who made this body did an original wheelbase of about 117.5 was the original wheelbase. They would use this door off of a crew cab, same identical door. We measured the dimensions from here to here. It is the same door. They just did this cutout for what would be their wheel well. Their wheel well is also a little bit lower than the front wheel well.
And the arch is totally different.
And the arch is completely different. So what we're gonna do, Solomon's great idea was, let's replace this door with a full-size crew cab door. The new jam is gonna be around this line because they actually took off about ½ an inch from here and tightened this up. So these two body lines are never the same. Now we're gonna open that up and free this up so it's identical and it'll look proportionate and proper like a crew cab. And at that point, we're gonna add a space about 10 inches to mimic the same exact space that we have here. The reason we're doing that is because our new wheel well is now gonna start here. We labeled it front jam, here to rear jam. So our new wheel arch, if you will be here. This wheel arch is gonna be the same exact diameter as the front wheel arch and have the same cutout for the big tires. We're going with 40s, we said?
40s.
We're going with 40s. So what we don't wanna do is have one of those lifts that the truck is sitting, like the body line is sitting above the tire. We want it to tuck in as nicely as possible. And then back here, we still have more room than here for it to look proportional. I think we have what, 14 inches? Yeah, we have 14, 15 inches in the back. So you always have a little bit more overhang in the rear anyways.
Yeah, and the reason why I wanted to do that is, if you look, this body line, even though yes, this is the den side, but it's not like the American trucks. This just goes all the way. On the regular den sides right here, this kind of rounds off, and then you have the light, and this just kind of wraps around, and then it goes into a bump side taillight. So Auto Metal Direct actually makes brand new quarter panels for short bed den sides, and that comes with the entire quarter and with the taillight cap. So we're gonna buy that, and then we're gonna put den side taillights, so that way when you look at the truck from the back, it will look a lot more like a Bronco, and a den side should properly. So that's a lot of what we did. So now we moved the original wheel base from over here. We're gonna stretch it out to here, so we're adding in about 1 foot overall, which is actually gonna make it really nice. It'll handle a lot better, and
be a lot more stable.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a lot nicer down the road. It's easier, not to mention unshrinking this frame as well. It's gonna make things a lot easier for us.
Yeah, because originally we were gonna shrink it 44 inches.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we'll do the math real quick, figure out exactly how much we are gonna shrink, and then we'll get to cutting.
All right, guys, so as you just saw, we got this all plasma'd and cut. We cleaned up this edges, and right now Manny is taking all the measurements so we know exactly where to cut. I thought it'd be pretty cool to show him your process.
So as you can see, we cut where it was joint by factory. This is the piece of sleeve that would have been in here that would have slid into that rearmost part of the frame. We have about 3 inches worth of frame rail that needs to slide into that factory location for it to be perfect. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna get a dimension. How much is it that we need to shrink?
27.5.
27.5 is what we have to reduce the frame. I can't reduce here 27.5 because then we wouldn't have that section to slide in. So what we're gonna do is 27.5 minus, once we clean this up, minus those 3 inches should be 24.5, and that's where we have our marking. So we're gonna cut this 24.5 plus the 3 inches that are gonna slide into the frame is gonna then have reduced this frame length 27.5, which would have reduced the wheelbase 27.5, giving us the correct wheelbase.
Heck yeah. So you guys stay tuned, and we'll show you what we keep doing. All right, guys, so we, or Manny and them, did a whole bunch of stuff.
So here's the completed frame. By completed, we deem the appropriately sized frame. You're gonna see the welds here. Frame slid right back into the factory location. And as you can see, this little section where it was shrunk is now tiny. This is gonna grant us our new 124.5-inch wheelbase. It's the wheelbase that we decided would work best with the flares and the way we're gonna locate them and stuff.
Heck yeah. So right now we're gonna slide this thing under the truck. We're gonna see how far we can lower the truck down, and we're gonna show you. All right, so we just got this rolled underneath. Figured let's lower it down with you guys so we could see what rubs. So
basic idea, so everybody can see while Adrian lowers it. We got a plumb bob here. It's gonna show us our somewhat close wheelbase.
it's pretty good.
I think there's gonna be some people out there that think that we even know what we're doing here. This is our new projected center line for the rear.
So as you can see, that's perfect on where we want it. We did not want it over there. So for anybody that's like, oh, you guys did all that and didn't even get it correct, just wait to see the rest of the process. Obviously, we can't lower it all the way down for many reasons, but one of which...
We gotta cut the frame back here. We did notice that we can clear the leaf springs if we wanted to tuck the frame underneath. We're gonna opt out of using the leaf springs. We're gonna switch over to a 4-link on either coilovers or bags. We're not sure just yet. And then as far as the front goes, we have a lot of room to clear. Adrian will probably come tomorrow and start tackling cleaning up the inner fenders, cleaning up the frame horns, probably removing the radiator support, because we're probably gonna need to modify that for a much bigger radiator.
What's crazy is that it actually clears the firewall. Like, we're not going to need a section into the firewall. We might need to cut a little bit of it.
We might need to tunnel a little bit more, seeing as this tranny is a lot bigger than the previous tranny.
Yeah, but it's not like it needs to be recessed.
Absolutely not.
Which is really cool.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, guys, so this is where we're going to end this video. If you guys like this video, please smash that like button. It really helps us out. We're trying to figure out what to name this truck. So if you've got an idea for a name, drop it in the comment section below. Let us know what you think about the progress you made. I mean, this is literally day one, and we already got all of this done. And that's all because these guys here at Poppy's really know how to do some stuff. And what else am I forgetting? Subscribe if you want to keep seeing. We're going to have a bunch of videos building this. If you want to get some cool merch like this hat, the shirt I'm wearing, a bunch of other stuff, head over to fordera.com, and we will see you in the next video.